It's All Things Considered, HPR1, member-supported Hawaii Public Radio, and I'm Dave Lawrence. The band Chicago is back, starting a 3-island tour tonight at the Blaisdell Arena in Honolulu, a building they first played in September 1970. After over 4 decades and many concerts around the state, drummer and one-time island resident Tris Imboden reflected with us on how far back his island connections go.
All the way back to the early 70s with Honk. We played at Andrews Amphitheater, and God, it was like a dream come true, really, because ever since I was a boy, I'd always wanted to come to Hawaii. And I've been living here, too, at a certain point in my life.
And then, of course, building relationships as a musician, playing with Kalapana, playing with C&K, Amy Hanaiali'i.
Yeah. No, all those people have, and I've loved the local music scene so much. Always have, and I'd like to become involved again, but I've got to move back to do that.
What got you into the drums to begin with?
Oh, man. Well, actually, that's sort of island-born as well. I mean, it sounds kind of corny, but my uncle actually crewed on a boat and the Transpac, from Los Angeles to Hawaii, and they won that race. I was just a kid, just cakey. Then there's a race from Honolulu to Papeete. He was there. They didn't win that one, but he fell in love with this Tahitian woman. And, man, he was there for 4 years, came back speaking Tahitian and also French and playing Tahitian guitar, and he brought me a toede and all these records of Tahitian drumming. So I just fell in love with Tahitian music, and still to this day when I solo, I hear, this Polynesian, some of those rhythms in my playing. And I got to study with a master like Hawaii, Manea, and also Carradine Colburn, who are both great master, Tahitian drummers. So
Stevie Wonder, I see, too, included in the cavalcade of incredible names.
Well, I tell you, Stevie and I can't even talk about my love of Stevie. It runs so deep and is so deep and goes so far back. I actually opened for Stevie Wonder when I was the lead singer in a band and playing drums. I must have been about 15 years old. At that time, he was still little Stevie Wonder, right? That night changed my life. I actually knew that's what I had to do that evening.
Further experiences with him that ended up mattering?
Yeah, I auditioned to be his drummer at one point. I was so flattered to be chosen.
What year approximately?
That was probably 88. Yeah. God, it was so great. I got to play a song while he wrote it. He said, Tris, give me a reggae beat. So I did. And he started writing a song. I can't believe this, man. I get goosebumps now.
That's so reminiscent of him doing that with Jeff Beck when he was like, Jeff, do a beat, and he wrote Superstition.
Right, exactly, man.
So you did a similar kind of move with the cat.
Yeah. I never did get to hear what he did with that tune, but I remember that moment. It was so heavy.
23 years it's been. When you think of all those interesting gigs, once 90 hit in your life, the pace of things changed dramatically. You hooked with Chicago, and for whatever reason, and I guess that's the question, what was it that made this gig click into this multiple decade run that you've been enjoying?
Well, I think it's all about great songs and great material, first of all. Without an audience, of course, Chicago couldn't have gone on for these past 46 years now next month. There's that, coupled with the fact that, gratefully, I have kind of that eclectic background from playing with so many...
Like we were saying, it lends itself.
Exactly, because, Chicago's music is very challenging, deceptively so to some people. When you listen to the early stuff, particularly like Ballet for a Girl from Buchanan, that Jimmy Pankow wrote when he was 18 years old. It goes through all these time changes, and, it's like very progressive rock. For all of us, even though we've played it thousands of times, it's still, if you space for 1 second, you're gone, man. The song has passed you, So, you have to... You
have to be in the moment.
You have to be in the moment, absolutely. And so I like that. I love that. And gratefully, they liked my interpretation. And it clicked. Personality-wise, too.
Right, that's what I was waiting for. That has to be another crucial ingredient.
Absolutely, because it's like, it's like riding in a submarine, with for months on end, with the same guys. So if you don't get along personally, it's gonna
be a tough mission.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Tris Imboden. He's had an amazing career. We've just touched on a little bit of it, but we're fortunate that during his 3-island tour with Chicago, he was willing to take a few minutes and do this. Was this okay to meet your high standards?
Oh, are you kidding? I love this, man. Dave, it's always such a pleasure, man. I'm telling you, it's always such a pleasure to see you and to do an interview with you, and I love it.
You're a really solid dude. I'm really lucky to Carmine Apiece for hooking us up and bringing us together, and just much love and aloha for you, my brother.
Thank you, my brother.
Tris Imboden, Chicago.